Hello YouTube. In today's video we're going to test out these 8 locomotives and see which ones run and which ones don't. So stay tuned for just one moment and I'll get these 2 right here out of the box, put my camera on the tripod, and we can take a closer look. So hang on and I'll be right back. Thank you for sticking through that quick introduction, and I would like to welcome you to Vintage Road and Rail. And I was going to put the camera on the tripod, but I opted to hold off on that for just a moment so that we could just kind of go down the line and take a look briefly at each of these locomotives. Then I'll drop the camera onto the tripod and we'll get a closer look at them. Then I'll pop the camera back off and we'll give them a quick test and see how well they perform. Alright, so to start with, we got our Tyco Spirit of 76 Super C630. Then we got this Tyco SD24. Then we've got a Tyco Gp 20. And the box, I thought this was an F7 by Tyco, but it's actually, according to the box, if you can look at it, it's a F9. Then we've got a Bachmann locomotive, a Lifelike locomotive. Both of these are F units. And then we've got another Tyco locomotive. This is a little switcher. Looks to be based off of a Plymouth switcher engine. And then we've got a heavy as a brick 060 tank engine. So I'll have a little bit more information about this guy. And these 2 here, these Spirit of 76 locomotives, I noticed something interesting about those as well. Alright, so let me drop the camera on the tripod here real quick and we'll get a closer look at each one. So strap it down so it don't fall off. Alright, so we're going to start with the largest locomotive and work our way down to the smallest one. So with that, here's our Tyco C630. And in a previous video, and I'll try to remember to put a little link up here, where I tested out a couple of these C630s, it didn't have handrails. And my understanding was that it didn't come with handrails, that you had to add them. So someone went through the trouble of putting handrails on this locomotive. Looks like they did a pretty good job of it too. Don't know, and someone can tell me if they know in the comments if this is a kit that was put out by Tyco back in the day, or if it's just a handmade, or some other company like Athearn or someone had made that. And like that other one I looked at, it has the same problem with that seal rubbing off, flaking off I should say. My guess is that while this body may be painted, this is just some sort of a sticker. Because if you flip it over on the other side, you see it's doing the same thing, only a little bit worse. But other than that, it looks to be in pretty good shape. And this locomotive, unlike most of the others, the seller that I got it from said it's tested and working. So we're going to find out if he was telling me the truth or not on that. Alright. Next, we've got this Union Pacific SD24. You've probably seen this before in a haul video. I bought this locally with just a box of some random train things for really cheap. But it's untested, so we're going to give it a look today. So we'll set that off to the side. Alright, now we've got this Western Pacific I should say, GP20. Looks to be in really good shape. I don't really see any scuffs or scratches or anything like that. Looks to be really good shape. But I got this untested, so I don't know if it will run or not. And this next one is the only other one of the bunch that is supposed to run. But we're going to verify it again, and it's another Spirit of 76. And like this other 76 was a bit unique in that it had handrails, I noticed something interesting about this one as well. This one does not, it's an older, it has, I forget what they call it, I want to say N2U or something like that, for the trucks, for the power. But usually there's little rivets here, but I guess someone has worked on this one in the past, drilled out those rivets and put it back in with screws. Unless I'm mistaken, I think that's the way it comes. Now, again, in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong on that, and that this is the way it came, but I could have swore it was riveted down, because I had another, I believe it was a Baltimore and Ohio F7, that it was riveted, and I couldn't really work on it. But otherwise, looks to be in really good shape. So looking forward to testing it out and verifying if it actually works or not. Alright, and the rest of these are untested. This is a little $5 Bachmann I picked up at the train show in Franklin, Indiana last month. So we're going to see if this rascal works or not. Now I've got a Lifelike F7 Locomotive. Maybe it's an F9, I'm not real sure at this point. But this is the Campbell Soup Company. Limited edition locomotive. There's a whole set you can get with this. Looks to be in pretty good shape. A little bit of scuff right there, or some wearing. Missing the front coupler, but that's okay. Now I don't know if this works or not. Now I've got the complete train set of this boxed away somewhere, but I stumbled across this some months ago at a train store in Cincinnati. Alright, this next one also came. This is a little switcher, and I believe it's based off of a Plymouth switcher engine, but correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments. This is untested. I think I paid like $5 for it at the train show last month. And this next one I paid $10 for it at my local train store. And this weighs a ton. It's a little tank engine. Now, interesting story behind this. It's all metal. But from what they told me at the store, is this was made probably between 1949 and 1954, I believe they said. So this thing is really, really old, way older than I am. So interested to put that on the track and see how it looks, or see how it runs, I should say. Alright, so that's all of our locomotives. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and put this C630 on the track. Make sure we're powered up. Then I'll take the camera off the tripod and we'll see what we've got here. Alright, make sure that's on there really good. Excuse me. Summertime, the allergies get to you a little bit. Alright, so I'm angle this and try to keep my feet out of the camera here. Alright, so let's give it a little power. I'm not sure if we're in forward or reverse. Well, this is one of those that, according to the eBay listing, is supposed to run. Let's give it a little, I mean, it's trying. Put it on full throttle. Okay. I'm trying to tell, I may be having some wheel slip too. All right, let's put that in reverse. Let's see if we can get it to come backwards. We do have a working light, so that's good. Trying to work with the locomotive and keep it in frame. All right. Okay, So it wants to run, but it's not quite getting there. I'm wondering if part of the problem is traction tires. It's just slipping a bunch. Can't quite tell. Looks like there's at least one missing. I can't quite hold the camera and the locomotive and point at the same time, but if you can look here, looks like we got traction tires in there, but they could be worn slap out. But this one looks to be missing one. The wheels don't look to be ridiculously dirty. Alright, so we'll look at that in a future video. The other one of these needed traction tires also, so maybe I'll do another video in the future. I've got some traction tires laying right there. Maybe we'll take a look into that and see if we can get that straightened out. Alright, so let's get this GP24 on the track. Alright, let's see if she's going to run. A little bit of power. Right now we're 0 for 1. Well, I got a light. I don't know if you saw it briefly there. See it? Light's coming on. But we're not getting... I can't hear the motor trying to turn. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut that off. I don't want to risk burning something out. Alright, well, we're 0 for 2. Again, the wheels don't look to be terribly dirty, at least not up front. They might be on the back there. So give those a clean and check the connections, and we'll see what we've got. Now this one, I will admit, I don't think it's going to run. So let's get it on the track and see what we've got here. Give it some power. Got a light. But there is, so we're getting electrical current. Well, I mean, we're getting electricity to it, but I can't hear the motor. Alright, so we're not getting anywhere with that. Okay, well, we are really striking out here. We're 0 for 3. Alright, now this next one actually better run, because I got this at a hobby shop in Niagara Falls area, and it was out front in a section of working locomotives. So let's find out. Okay. Alright, well, we got one that works. Sort of. Alright, go around here. Give it a little thump. Well, are you going to quit on me all the way over there? Yeah, you are, aren't you? Okay, so let me go around over here. Give it a little tap. Well, it is going. It is very sluggish about it, but it looks like it's getting a little better. Yeah. I'm going to stay here on the end, though. Got it going a little faster than I would like. But it actually is running a little bit better. Not great, but better. So maybe it could just do with a good clean and it'll be ready to go. Alright, so let's come on back around here. We're going to let it make one more lap. And let's stop it right here. Alright, now let's move on to this Bachmann locomotive. For $5 and the condition it's in, I am not expecting much. So let's see what we got though. Well, be darned. Out of never in a zillion years. A little loud, but it's running. Excuse me. The lights are working too. Alright, so let me back up so I can get a little bit more of it in frame here. Just let it stretch its legs and run a couple laps. It's not bad. Yep. Until you derail. I don't know what I hit there. Alright, let's just turn the power off. And let's set these, they're actually working, off to the side. Alright, so let's now try this Lifelike right here. Alright, I think I got that on there alright. Let's give it some power. Nothing so far. Oh, I saw it jerk just a tad. Let's turn it full, and I don't know if you heard it, but it's wanting to, somewhat. But it is. I don't know that I would call it a runner, but I believe it can be made to run. Alright, I don't want to stress it any further. Let's take a look at the bottom. It may just need a good cleanup. Let's see, is this... yeah, maybe we can give it a good clean and we'll see. Alright, so let's now try this little switcher locomotive here. It's a $5 locomotive at the train show as well. So let's see what we got with this one. It moved. Well, it is trying. Give it full power. Oh, there she goes. Definitely struggling. I'm gonna. Alright, well, it's going. It is struggling at some points though. Smoothing out here. Alright, well, let's let it stretch a little bit. Seems to be things hanging up on that switch right there. I need to investigate that a little later. It's struggling, so let's go ahead and let's stop it. Okay. Alright, last one we got to take a look at is this heavy as a brick tank engine. Let's put my railer on there. Let's see what we got. Well, it went backwards. Let's change the direction. Oh, she stopped. I'll be darned. It's struggling a bit, but it's getting on around there. See. When I picked it up, they weren't sure if it was going to work or not. I'll be darned, she's running though. Look at her go. Alright. I imagine it could definitely use a little TLC though. But for something as old as my dad, it's running pretty good. Alright, let's get her around the bend and don't think the light was working, but what do you expect? Alright, well actually let's move this over here to the working side here. Alright, well, we were 3 for 5. These 3 worked, and these 5 didn't, even though, well, actually, no. We're batting 500. So these 4 worked, and these 4 didn't. However, this one tried, and I believe this one tried. Oh, couldn't see it. These 2 here, they tried, but they didn't really get anywhere. And these did get power, but they weren't moving. So, probably just need to do a little bit of cleanup, and they should be ready to go. So, this one here, that Spirit 76, may just need some traction tires. I've got another Spirit of 76. I'm not sure where I put it. I don't see it over here on my shelf. So I'll pull it out and replace the traction tires on those 2 in a future video and see if they work any better. Okay, well I have rambled on enough here looking at these different locomotives. If you have one of these locomotives in your collection and it's working great, tell me about it. If it wasn't working, you got it working, I'd love to hear about it, and what you did to get her up and running. Alright, so that'll conclude this video. So thank you very much for joining me. Make sure, if you like this video, to hit that like button, subscribe, and as I've already mentioned, comment, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me, and happy model railroading.